Hey sailors, it's Kevin and Frank from Cruising with Wheels.
Hey guys, and welcome to another exciting episode of our Q&A.
So welcome everybody to our channel. If you're new and if you're a returning subscriber, thanks for coming back.
That's right. Welcome back.
We want to remind everybody that we're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, and you can email us. And where can they email us?
They can email us at cruisingwithwheels@rochester.rr.com.
My seasonal allergies are driving me nuts today. Anyways, we're going to start right out with the first question. And
What's the number one question?
they say, hello, Cruising with Wheels.
Hello.
Hi. 37 days until our cruise. Super excited. How far in advance should we print our boarding documents? You want to field this one?
Well, considering that's not what I do.
All right.
You're 37 days away from sailing. You can print them now. In fact, you're a little.
Well, you can print them all the way up to a few days prior to sailing. I think you can even print them the day you sail, but I generally print them as soon as they become available, and it varies depending on the cruise line you're with.
Right.
We will say NCL, for example. NCL, you can print your documents 60 days prior to sailing. So generally, my rule of thumb is you never know what's going to happen with the cruise lines, right, with their websites. So I print them as soon as they become available.
Don't wait till the last minute. And you can't print them, am I right, unless the check-in process is done.
Right. You first have to do your check-in process. And,
Right. So it's not just a matter of someone going, make sure you print out your e-docs. Well, you got to check in first and get that all done and then print them out.
So the second question says, hi guys, love you both.
Oh, love you too.
See much. You're very entertaining and informative. So my question is, can you go on a cruise if you are on oxygen?
Oh, yes. Yes, you can. In fact, we've seen a lot of passengers on cruises we've been on that have the portable oxygen tanks.
There's a few things that you'll have to do that are important. Number one is you need to know, are you flying to your cruise? If you are, you need to check the regulations that the FAA has set forth and just go to whatever airline you're using, Delta, Southwest, JetBlue, blah, 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 blah.
Right.
You're also going to want to reach out to the special needs department from the cruise line that you're traveling on, because some cruise lines have specifics. So and
that's part of the special needs form. Not only people think it's just not all about wheelchairs and scooters and canes and walkers, but it's oxygen and
dietary needs,
right, and
mobility,
right.
Visual
impairment,
hearing,
dialysis, just a lot of stuff. And oxygen is part of that checklist. And whether you're bringing your own or you can rent oxygen supplies from outside agencies.
So the third question reads, good morning, everyone. I am leaving on an RC cruise, that means Royal Caribbean, this August, and I have a question. I'm super excited for Key West, as I've always wanted to go. However, all of the trolley tours are sold out.
No.
Unfortunately, due to the family emergency, we had to change our vacation plans, so we just booked this cruise.
Ooh, last minute.
I really want to explore the town, see Hemingway's house, and get a piece of authentic key lime pie.
Yummy.
Is the main area of town easy to get to from the ship if we walk there? And will we be able to walk there, explore for a while, and make it back to the on board on time? Thanks in advance.
Yes. I'll answer that because I've been there. And yes, it is very walkable. when we did our cruise to Key West, the cruise ship, and I believe it's like almost 20 years ago, we were aboard the NCL Sky, and the trolleys actually were right there at the gangway when you got off, and that's the arrangement they made for our particular cruise.
Now,
However,
I wouldn't be opposed to even telling them that even though the cruise line is
Arranged
completely booked
Yeah.
and it has arranged it,
Yeah.
there probably are trolleys that they can
Absolutely.
get on.
Yeah. But Key West is very walkable, and I have been to the Hemingway house and seen all the cats, and we did indulge in key lime pie while we were there. So all those things you're looking for to do is all very doable.
Then-
Comfortable shoes.
Then-
I was there in my walking time of life. Now I would be there in my rolling time of life.
The next question reads, we are going on a Baltic cruise with Celebrity in August.
Oh, jealous.
We are very
Very jealous.
It will be the first time we are going to do free dining. I'm a little concerned about this as we like to dine early. Has anyone had any problems with this? It's the first time they're doing free dining. I don't know what that means. I'm
Is it like
assuming.
anytime dining, like free anytime? I'm guessing.
I guess, yeah. That's how I read the question
Right.
when I came across this. So basically, the way I answered it is, nope, it should be a piece of cake. We always select the anytime, my time, free time,
Whatever they're calling it.
option. And we haven't done a set time dining in many, many years. And we always get to eat between 5:30 and
Right.
6 o'clock. That's when we're comfortable eating.
Right.
So
Yeah.
really shouldn't be a problem.
Yeah, because we like the whatever they're calling it, free dining anytime, whatever my time, because stuff happens,
Right.
and best laid plans might change, and
Now-
so we like the flexibility. As I'm sure that's why you probably did the same thing.
Now, the thing that the cruise lines typically do and have done, and I know this is generally the case with Celebrity, is they'll have two main dining rooms, okay? And one main dining room will be marked for the anytime diners or the free time diners or the my time diners. And the second dining room will be only for set seating. So you just want to check your, what are those, your documents, your e-docs?
Right.
To see what dining room you're in. Or once you board, you can find out what dining room you are assigned to. Now, the next question comes in, and it says, how do you pack or prepare for disembarkation? I find packing for the trip, I fix everything nice and folded, but for leaving, I throw everything in the bag while checking it off my checklist. Just finished watching the packing series. I'm assuming they're talking about
Yes,
Frank's packing
of
series.
course.
And wondered what you all do for leaving the ship. Love watching you guys. Now,
Well,
can I just say
I just-
something first with this?
Oh, okay. Because I was going to say the first thing we do is we cry.
Well, I was going to say this has been a really a frequently asked question of many of our viewers, and I haven't asked you about this yet, but I was considering trying to film something while we're on board on our next cruise, or maybe the cruise after that. But the cruise after that's going to be a little crazy. So I was thinking maybe when we go on the Escape, we could film something on how we prepare and backpack is what I call
Right,
it.
right.
I call it backpacking
Right.
because we're coming back and we're
Right.
repacking.
Yeah.
So maybe we can do
it's
that.
kind of- it's we repacked to leave on disembarkation day, in reverse of how we packed at home to leave.
Right.
I mean, basically, it sounds like you have a list, a checklist, and that's what we do. So we checklist everything into the luggage, and I have a luggage planogram.
Well, I was just going to say that the packing checklist is great, but what and I wish we would have brought it down with us. What we do is when we go on our cruises, or anywhere for that matter, and we're packing, Frank will prepare a list of what was in what bag.
Right.
So I know that all of these pieces of electronics have to be in my backpack, and all these things went in
My shoulder tote.
his shoulder tote, and all these things went in a 21 piece, and all these things went in the 30-inch or whatever other bag we were bringing.
Right. So that checklist, or planogram, I bring with us.
So explain to them, though, what a planogram is.
Well, planogram is...
Because
again,
people won't know that term.
I know. They won't know that term. It's a retail term. Just to give you an idea, when you go into any store, a drugstore or Walmart or whatever, the way they have their aisle set and their shelving set of product is called a planogram.
It wasn't just thrown up on the shelf
Right.
anywhere.
They know that Nabisco saltine crackers was on the second shelf, third item from the left. I mean, it's an actual printed out item for item for item, and that's kind of what I do, because that's what I did in my drugstore days. Is, we were constantly redoing our shelving planograms when new product came out and old product was discontinued. So I did the same thing, because we do travel, as Kevin said, with 4 basic pieces of luggage, which is the backpack, the shoulder tote, a carry-on, and one larger piece. So because we travel and cruise so often, I got into pretty much knowing what goes where and how Kevin likes to pack.
Now,
and so
let me...
I typed up a basic planogram.
Now let me read what how I answered him, and then I want to expound or expand on how I answered him, okay? So I wrote back and I said, usually we pack the last evening and leave our bags outside of our cabin for the ship to offload the next day. Always making sure we have our outfits for travel day laid out so we are prepared. Usually it gets packed up pretty much the same way we started out the trip, except all our dirty clothes are in plastic garbage bags. We always pack all of our valuables and documents in our carry-on bags. That includes any souvenirs which we purchased, as well, which goes in our expandable tote bag we bring along. It's really easy peasy. So what I wanted to say about that is, we know, because we've already explained that we have a planogram, so we know that so many shirts went in this, and so many shorts went in that, and so on and so forth.
We know what will fit where.
So generally we try to fold neatly and put them in the bags, the garbage bags, and we make sure we have enough for all of the luggage. But I got to tell you guys, sometimes we just run out of time and we say, screw it, and we throw it in, and what fits, fits.
Right, and the main garbage bag for us is that if it doesn't contain all the shirts and T-shirts, it definitely takes all the dirty underwear and all the dirty socks are definitely in a garbage bag. We try to get everything well balanced, because again, we fly to and from, whether it's New York or Miami or Fort Lauderdale or whatever, and we're cognizant of weight of luggage. But basically, we plan our repacking, and I usually start a little early during the day. If I'm doing nap time and you're not, I might get up early from my little nap in the cabin and kind of start the organization process. So by the time it's after dinner and we're back in our cabin and reminiscing about our cruise, the final packing is pretty much done. I usually have everything laid out.
It's always good to have 2 eyes on everything.
Definitely. And remember, don't forget to leave your disembarkation day clothing out and in the closet. Don't pack everything and then you put your luggage out at night and they collect it all, and it's in the bowels of the ship to get off. And you get up in the morning and you're like, oh my God, I'm in my pajamas. Didn't anybody put any clothes to wear today?
And I know they're all laughing.
I know.
We've seen people get off the ship so embarrassed because they didn't have their shoes, they didn't have whatever they needed. But I also want to say with the two sets of eyes on everything, is we find it that even when we're doing these videos, we have defined roles. So Frank's role when we're repacking is to take everything out and do his like little inventory of everything.
Right.
And then I go back in and I pack everything, right? And then my job is not only, well, we kind of pack everything together, but my final job is going through every single cupboard, drawer, closet, any space where something could be hiding.
Under the bed, anything, right?
And making sure.
And as I have checklisted it off the master
then I
checklist,
check it again.
I'm like, you saw that, right? I mean, I have it checked out, but you saw this. Yes, I saw it. This is where I put it. Yes, it's over here. Yes, oh, okay, that's good. So, yeah, I don't think we've ever left.
Assign roles.
Yeah, I don't think we've ever left anything on a cruise ship.
No, we have left things home.
Well, yeah, but I'm talking on a cruise ship when we repack.
All right, so the next question reads, what time can I get into our rooms when we get on the ship? 3 p.m., question mark, question mark. Is that when the room is available or when the luggage is available? Trying to decide if I want to check my medication in the luggage or keep it with me. Someone suggested bringing a bathing suit in a carry-on so we can swim before luggage is ready. I don't want to worry about my meds if I'm swimming. So I'm going to tell you right now, you are not going to pack your medication in your bag, period, the end of story.
No.
Okay? All right, so let's go down the list of what we have in our carry-on and why we have it.
Right.
Okay? So let's
First of all, we need to start with the premise again that we
wait.
travel with 4 basic pieces of luggage.
Right. But I want to say first, I want to answer the first part of the question first, which is when will the rooms be ready? Now, we're not going to have the answer for that. You may go on this cruise and your room might be ready at noon. You might go on your next cruise and it won't be ready till 5. It's all going to depend on how packed the ship was, how staffed the ship is, and what their procedure is.
Right. Well, how much cleaning they have to do. Is it a regular cleaning or were they forced to do a deep cleaning because of a possible previous norovirus outbreak on the previous cruise? All those things get factored in.
So I'm going to give a generality, and I know you're probably going to disagree with what I'm going to say.
You already know this?
Yes, because I know you so well. But I will say, in general, your cabins will be ready by 4 o'clock, and your luggage will be delivered by dinner.
Yeah.
Okay?
Pretty much.
You agree?
I would say that's a pretty much general majority guarantee that's the time frame.
Now, we have been on cruises where we've had our luggage within a half an hour of us being on the ship. But our cabins weren't ready, right? And we have had situations where our cabin was ready when we boarded, but we didn't get our luggage till 10 o'clock at night.
Well, that one time...
And they lost our luggage.
The cruise tag got ripped off of our luggage that we checked with the luggage porter outside. And, of course, they had to determine exactly whose it was. And so we got it like 10:30 at night after the show we saw.
Now, let's talk about
the meds.
The bags, okay? So in your carry-on, it is really, really important that you always have your medications with you. I don't want you to be worried about people rummaging through your bag to try to steal things if you're in the pool on that embarkation day.
Right.
Okay? Now, I want you all to think logically. We're in a technological age, right? I just went through this at the casino. Remember that story? We won't go into that story, but there are cameras everywhere.
Right.
Any given cruise ship is going to have thousands of cameras, and every inch of that ship is covered. So, first of all, if you think anybody's going to steal anything, they're going to get caught.
Right.
Second of all, what we do, because, we carry a lot of expensive equipment, is if I want to go swimming, he watches the bag.
Right.
If he wants to go swimming, it ain't going to happen because he doesn't like to swim. But let's say he liked to swim, I would watch the bag. It's only for a few hours.
I know.
You want to have your medications with you because what if your bag gets lost, your checked bag, right?
Absolutely.
So the second thing that we have in there is a spare change of clothes
Right.
for Frank
Right.
and a spare change of clothes for me. Why? What if they lose our bag?
Right. And
Okay?
we have pajamas for each. We have all our what is the toothbrush?
Toiletries.
Toiletries. Thank you. I couldn't. That wasn't coming out. Yes, we have all our toiletries, pajamas, a change of clothes, medications, and electronics. Everybody should board that ship and have a personal bag with them on their body with those basic things. And
Right.
everything else you can check.
Right. And everything else you should check.
Yes.
This is a vacation. You don't want to be carting around all of your bags with you. And as a reminder,
You can't.
you can only bring on a 21-inch case or smaller. Okay? So if you're going on a 7-day cruise, and most people would pack a 26 or a 30-inch bag for that, most couples, you're not going to be able to bring it.
No, you're not going to go through the port terminal security. The conveyor belt scanner is not large enough to accommodate this giant piece of luggage. That
And
needed
if-
to go on the luggage trolleys outside where the porters would take it.
And frankly,
And
if
load
you're
up.
worried about someone taking your little bag, if somebody walked over and took all your bags, you're really screwed. So let's move on to the next
Okay.
question. And it's specifically regarding NCL.
okay.
And what they basically say is the glow in the dark or white party on the pool deck for all ages. And do you have to pay for it? You know, this is a hard question to ask. I'll read what we answered, and then
Okay.
I'll see. We'll go from there.
Okay.
How's that?
Okay.
So our answer to this individual was, it is free,
We've been to the glow
attend,
parties. We've been to
right?
the white parties, whatever they're calling it these days.
and there are special glow glasses that you can buy that your drink comes in most cases. Not always available.
And you've bought a glow stick. You had a glow ring.
Oh, I didn't buy any of that. They gave it.
Oh, they gave it. Oh, that's even
or
better.
I found it on the floor. Somebody left it. So, anyways, depending on the ship, they have them on the pool deck, or they have them in Spinnaker's Lounge, and sometimes they have them in the Bliss Lounge, not to be confused with the Bliss, the ship, because some of the ships have discotheques called, that sounds like a really old term, but called Bliss Lounge. And sometimes they're at Spice H2O. And we're really not sure if there is a cutoff age for kids, although I have seen children there, but usually what I found is the crew will kind of escort them at a certain time, or if the party starts getting a little crazy, all the kids have to leave, right? So usually the cutoff time, usually the glow party starts around 11, and the kids
Good
I
God,
found
I'm asleep.
get escorted out about midnight. That's what happened when Dave and Darlene
Ah.
and I went to the glow party on, what was it, the getaway we were
Yep,
just on?
yep.
And when I was on Bliss and I went to the, they didn't have a glow party, they had Caliente.
Right.
And I believe that is where NCL is moving all their parties to, is Caliente now, which is a little bit different, but they still have the glow
same
stuff.
stuff,
Yeah,
yeah.
it really is. You can call it whatever you want.
Whatever you want.
So the next question is, do we have to, in big letters, purchase excursions in order to get off the ship at each port? I'm sorry, I don't mean to laugh at you. Or can we just walk around or have a relaxing beach day? I don't know why I laughed, but other than I've had clients that have come into my shop, we'll go back to that client that didn't even go to a restaurant because she thought she had to eat in her cabin
Right.
every night.
Yeah, the client who ate every night room service in the cabin and would say, I wasn't impressed with the food. Well, why not? They have great restaurants. What? What do you mean restaurants? What restaurants? Well, there's restaurants all over the ship. Didn't you go to any of them? The free restaurants, the specialty. I didn't know there were restaurants on the ship. How do you not know this? But again, people that haven't cruised
Right.
and that don't get into like Facebook cruising forums, that aren't part of my Facebook cruise chat forum, aren't able to ask questions, don't know that there are restaurants maybe on board.
Right.
Don't know that, you know.
So basically, to answer your question, you can get off the ship anytime it is docked. The important thing that you need to do is make sure that your watch, and I say watch because you want to bring along a watch with you and set it to ship's time.
Right.
Do not depend on your cell phone. It does not always
Update.
catch up and update into the area that you're in. Also, ship time could be different than shore time.
Right.
And you want to make sure that your butt is back on that boat at least a half an hour prior. That's
Right.
our rule
Always
of thumb.
know when the ship wants you back on board, and they will have signs on the gangway as you're getting off to be back. And if it's a tender boat ride into port and not the ship docking,
You want to know when the last tender
yes,
is.
you need to know when that last tender boat is leaving that island or location, because it could take anywhere from a 15-minute tender boat ride to 45 minutes. So there's number of passengers off, time to shuttle back and forth with tender boats. So don't be left behind.
I want to remind everybody that a cruise vacation is a wonderful way to vacation because you can tailor it and make it what you want.
Right.
And your cruise might be different from your spouse's cruise. Your experience might be different than your spouse. We've been on cruises where I have thoroughly enjoyed myself and Frank had a miserable time. Well, not really miserable, but didn't think it was as great
I
as
was
I
thinking,
did.
oh my God, this is awful, and this is not how it should be. And he's going, oh no, I think everything's
It's not bad.
okay. And I'm going, are you kidding me? This is awful.
So, not to say that cruising is always going to be like that, but basically you make it what you want it to be, and you do what you want when you
Right.
want with who you want usually. And
If you didn't buy an
yeah.
excursion and do something official with the ship, or maybe a third party in the port that you arrived in, and you just want to get up like we do, get off, we tool around, we shop,
Make it a shopping day, make it a beach day.
we people watch, stay and have lunch in port, treat yourself.
Look for those tales from the seas people. Tales from the high seas
Tales
people.
from the high seas people, that's right, because there are a lot of crazy people out there.
So we hope that
yeah.
that's been helpful
And
for
we've
you.
answered some important questions. Thank you for sending the questions in, because your questions and hopefully our answers are going to not only help you, but everybody else who's watching.
If you're not a regular subscriber, please consider joining the Cruising with Wheels family and click that subscribe button. Next to it, there's a little bell. Don't be a dingling. Make sure you get our notifications and click that too.
So, thank you for joining us.
And remember, always
Travel safe.
and cruise often.